Prepare to experience the strongest radio allowable by law. Secrets will be revealed. Myths dispelled. From the studio gym where excuses never apply, it's Superhuman Radio with your host, Carl Lenore.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Superhuman Radio. And another episode, we have the 15-year anniversary show this Friday. Don't miss it. We're going to be reminiscing and talking about things, and we are going to be acknowledging our listeners. The show is really going to be about the listeners more than anything else. Elisa and I will be hosting it. We have some really exciting announcements to make, so you don't want to miss that this Friday. Live here on Facebook and YouTube, of course. For those of you who want to join in and comment and be part of the show, please do that. Today is December 14th, 2020. We have a really fascinating show today. You know, I started doing the series of fathers and sons because I felt that men and young boys who eventually become men, we have a different landscape in society today to navigate than we ever have before. And we learn to be men from our fathers. And there's a lot of fathers out there that put a lot of thought into raising boys. And I want to share that information with those of you who maybe have young boys in the house now, or you plan on having children someday. It's not like our parents did. They just kind of coasted through. You know, if we didn't break ourselves, if we came home for dinner and we weren't dead, they were successful. But it's a different world today. And so we're going to have Erwan Le Corre on the show shortly, who was on the show in 2015 with his MovNat movement, which he's done some great things over the years with. We'll talk briefly about that as well. Before we do any of that, we have to thank my title sponsor, and that is, of course, Legendary Foods. If you use the code SHR, if you go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use the code SHR10, I have a contradictory banner here. We stopped promoting the eatlegendary.com just because we want to see how many people are actually visiting the website. So if you use the website shrnetwork.biz/legendary and use the coupon code SHR10, you'll save 10% off of all of their decadently delicious snacks and nuts and nut butters. And please check out the new tasty pastry. It comes in 2 new flavors, blueberry and hot fudge sundae. Both have 0 sugar. Both of them have high quality, high leucine protein to the tune of 15 grams. Neither of them have tons of fiber. This is a fantastic snack for your children, for yourself. Please go to shrnetwork.biz/legendary and show them some love. And now, without further delay, I will get my guest on. Just bear with me. And he is Erwan Le Corre. How you doing, Erwan?
Hey, hi, everybody. Hi, Carl. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you.
Welcome back. So right now, today, you are in Mexico, correct?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Maybe I'll slightly turn.
Yeah. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so there is, well, this is definitely the best, the best office you could ever imagine. And it's a beautiful place. Yeah, that's where we live with my wife and 3 kids.
And so you started MovNat. How many years ago did you start MovNat?
Officially, the start of MovNat as a company, that's 2009. So we're over a decade already, but as a teaching, as a personal practice, it's been decades of it. Yeah.
So before we get into raising boys as a discussion, explain to my audience what MovNat is and what your goals are.
MovNat goes for moving naturally and moving in nature. It's been my vision that we want to be in movement, in natural movement. Natural movement, that's the idea that just like wild species, If you think of let's say a wolf or a wild horse or an eagle or a dolphin, no matter what the species is, they all have their own natural movement abilities that enable them to live, to survive, and even to thrive in wild environments. As a human species, we're no different. And I believe that the way that we should exercise should be fundamentally based on our own human natural movement abilities. So we're talking about not just running and walking, we're talking also about balancing, jumping, hanging and climbing, crawling, lifting things, carrying and throwing, catching things, movement in water, combative movement, combative skills. So we're talking about the whole scope of, again, of human movement skills that are going to prove not just practical, they're going to prove literally potentially vital in the real world at any time. And this is what I teach. This is what my method is about. Because when you look at the way young kids exercise, well, number one, they don't officially exercise,
Right.
but in fact they do, because their program, their memory is to develop themselves physically to become capable to move in the real world. They all do it. It doesn't matter what is their ethnicity, where they live in the world, what their parents are doing, what they believe in, their social status. None of that matters. You look at all young children, they'll all move the same, they all go through the same development stages to ultimately become able to move naturally, to be capable to operate their body in the real world, just like in any other species. Why should be any different? Should it be any different in us? That's the idea. So my method is about educating and re-educating not just kids, but grown-ups in their own natural movement, physical capability that in most cases have never acquired as or fully developed as children. And that's
right.
That's what MovNat is about. That's what I do.
That's the curse of modernity. We are the only species that alters our environment for specific reasons. They call it creature comforts, and it's caused us to abandon a lot of natural movement. It's very fascinating. Plug your website before we go on to the discussion. Plug your website.
Sure. It's MovNat.com, and it spells exactly MovNat. MovNat.com.
There you go.
We have workshops all around the world. It's an international phenomena of natural movement trend and community that hasn't stopped growing strong even through the current situation.
Right. So now let's talk a little bit about you. You were actually born in the United States, but raised in France, correct?
Yeah, I was born and raised in France. I'm actually 100% of Celtic origin. From my Brittany lineage, I'm basically Scottish and Irish and Welsh, basically. But I was made to believe that I was French because born and raised in France. And then it's only later on, when I was 38, 39, that I moved to the US.
Okay.
I was granted a very special immigration visa called O1, and it goes for, literally, they say it's for extraordinary abilities. So that's when an individual has something really unique, really special that they believe will benefit the community, the country. And in my case, it was about bringing this very unique approach and method to physical training, which is
Interesting. So as a young boy, who do you feel influenced you the most and who you have become?
My father, because, and I must say, and unfortunately, not for all the good reasons. I wish I would be able to say my father was an extraordinary man in every way. That is actually the case, but you learn also thanks to, and sometimes despite of, or because of your parents. But the
Right.
reason why he played such an important role in who I am today, and but also what I'm doing today, is that we lived in the far suburbs of Paris. So basically, literally it was still on the countryside, and there were woods just next to our house. Literally, I could see through the windows, 100 yards away, the forest.
Right.
Every day, every morning, I would wake up, open my window, even in the winter, breathe the fresh air that smelled so good because of the forest.
Right.
And the forest was hilly and with large boulders, like those who know rock climbing know Fontainebleau. It's like a mecca of rock climbing in France. Literally, the landscape was similar. And my dad was always taking us there. He was always taking us on long hikes in the woods. But more than that, he was pushing me and my brother to climb trees, to climb rocks really high. Things that today most parents would be like, oh my God, could go to jail for doing this, which is literally absurd. Actually, he did believe that this was the way to make us grow strong, to be strong already, to learn about mental strength, to learn about courage, to learn about pushing one's own limits, to go beyond one's fears, children. And so we did that. We did that all the time. Then we'll learn to do it even when he was not around. We'll learn to challenge ourselves, to not be afraid, and to always climb things and jump and crawl. And he would do it with us, by the way. He was most of the time leading by example. And what he was telling us, this is what I did all the time when I was a kid. I did that all the time. He had maybe some form of nostalgia for his own childhood when he was free and feeling happy and feeling strong, and he wanted to convey the same mindset and the same behaviors in his own children, his own sons.
What about when you started to think as a young man what it takes to be a good father yourself? Did you have people in your life that you thought to yourself, someday when I'm a father, I want to be like that? Someday when I'm a father, I want to teach my children that. Obviously, your father contributed a great degree of your love of physical culture. And you said there were some things that you didn't say he was so great at. And that's how we learn. As you point out, we learn not just who to be, but who not to be from our parents. We make choices. But were there other people? For me, there were the fathers of friends of mine that took me hunting for the first time. Were there other people that you looked at and thought, when I'm a father, I'm going to be like that?
Yeah. So actually, my uncle, my mom's brother, my two uncles, because they were fit. They were really fit. These guys, they trained their body, and they had they were really handsome men with lots of charisma. They were very self-confident. They were exercising, and they got that themselves from their own dad. So that's on the other side of the family. My grandpa, whom I've never met because he died long before I was born, but he was known for doing gymnastics and doing like handstands on top of like really like super high, whatever it was, industrial complexes, wherever he was working. And my grandma apparently was completely scared, but he would do it. And I believe that he probably showed that example to his own sons. So my My uncles were this kind of man, and I looked up to them, even though I did not get to see them too often and not as much as I would like. So, for instance, I remember that time where I was maybe 12, 11, 12, and we were in Brittany on the beach where one of those uncles lived. He was a fisherman, and he was always spearfishing, swimming, running, doing handstands, push-ups, pull-ups, keeping himself healthy. We're talking about like the 70s, the 80s. Mm-hmm. And once he asked me, "You want to run with me? Let's go run all the way to the end of the beach and back." It was a very long beach. And I said, yeah. I was so happy that he invited me to do something with him, because when we're kids, we look up to, the people we look up to. We want to be involved in whatever they do. So I went, and then we came back, and I was tired. And he says, "Let's do another one. You want to do another one?" And I'm like,
wow.
Well, no, I'm tired. So no. But you know what he said? He didn't say, it's told me something that stuck the rest of my life. He didn't lecture me. He didn't judge me. He kept smiling, and it just gave me that lesson, that insight, which was never even a lesson, but I just understood it as, okay, this is a teaching right there, an important teaching.
Right.
He told me, you know why, Erwan, it is that you don't want to go again? It's because when I asked you if you wanted to go all the way, run all the way to the end of the beach and back, you agreed on that. And that's what you set your mind to. But if I asked you, hey, do you want to go all the way to the end of the beach, come back and do it a second time again? And if you had agreed on that, then you would do it, because right. You have set your mind on it. And I was yeah, that's true. I'm still really feel tired, because he probably run kind of fast, and I was not especially trained, or I was young, and it was a good run already. It's not that I was not fit or not brave enough. He just opened my mind to that extraordinary simple teaching, which is, if you set your mind on something, then you open the door to that possibility. You can see yourself being able to do it, and therefore you will do it. That was a tremendous teaching. That moments later, I go in the water and I get stung. My foot gets stung, but one of those, it's like a typical special fish that grows there that you can't see, and it just injects you with its venom, and it's extremely painful. It's not harmful, but it's painful for hours. And then they made me walk back to, or they actually carried me on their back, because I was limping half of the way. And I would make a point to not cry. And my uncle could notice that. He said to my dad, "The boy is strong, because I know that stung, and it's very painful, and he's trying to not show." So good job on my uncle, good job on my dad. I have another story.
Please.
I'm not talking too much.
No. Plenty of time.
It's the story of, basically, it's a timeless story of fathers and father figures and male role models, and because that's what we're talking about now. And God knows how important healthy, beautiful, feminine role models matter for men to be a good, healthy man.
Right.
And I want to make sure that this is underlined as well. It's not about like the cult of manlyhood, and there are beautiful feminine-like virtues that men should learn, should be inspired by, in order to grow up to be balanced, strong, healthy men in their mind and body as well. Anyways, the story, it's a story of timeless transmission of timeless values. This is evolutionary psychology. So that memory is actually so old in my childhood that my dad reminded me or told me something that I'm not sure if I remember it exactly, or he made me remember something, which is that I was so young. I was maybe 2 years old, 3 years old, maybe at the oldest. And I was following him in the woods. He was always, having me go in the woods. He would sometimes just put me on his shoulders and run down the hills, and I could feel that movement, and I could feel that. And even though you're not doing the movement yourself, you learn directly what it is to move and to move in nature. Anyways, there was that hill, and it was muddy. It had rain. It was slippery, and it was steep. And he climbed on top, and he left me at the bottom. I could not tell you how high it was. All I can tell you is that I tried to follow him, and I couldn't. And I was sliding down, and I was sliding down, and I was sliding down. And he saw me. He looked at me, like from the top, and he kept asking me to join him. And I tried, and I guess I told him, or like, I can't do it. And he said, yes, you can. Keep trying. And he could see that I kind of wanted to start complaining, or maybe, crying, like very, very young boy. But he said, just pull yourself together, keep trying. I know that I managed to do it. I know that I managed to do it. It was not easy. It was a real physical challenge, which implied that I had to really commit to just deciding that I had to do it. And then in the end, he said, so you see, you could do it, and you could do it alone. He told me, when he told me that story, I was a teenager. He told me that it kind of felt bad because it was really difficult climb for such a young kid. And he felt bad that he was mean enough to not come down, to not hold my hand, to not help me, to be very cold, and to just tell me, just do it. But I think that he actually did the right thing, because he showed me.
That's really what life is.
What's that?
Because that's really how life is.
Yeah.
Life will not give you a hand and pull you up the hill. You have to go up on your own.
That is the truth. And it was in no way letting me be in any kind of danger. There was no danger to this. There was just an obstacle, a challenge that he wanted to show me that I could handle it on my own already. And this is a very precious, strong, timeless teaching, which I believe, unfortunately, is missing in today's culture, is that there's no more challenge of this kind and teaching of this kind for most boys and girls along, by the way, because girls should learn the same, as a matter of fact.
Somewhere along the line, we have perverted empathy. We've perverted it. So what I mean by that is, we see someone struggling, we feel bad. Oh, let me help them. Charity comes from this. We've perverted empathy because there is some struggle that must be experienced in life and will actually make you better at doing the things you need to do in life. And when we talk about these parents today that they hover around their child. Oh, I don't want him to fall. I don't want him to scrape his knee. I don't want him to have to go through the pain of falling off the monkey bars. Here in the United States, they've taken the monkey bars out of all of the playgrounds because they don't want anybody to fall and hurt themselves. And this is so silly. And part of the problem is the way we handle these situations with legal, we want to blame somebody. My child fell and hit their chin. I have a scar on the bottom of my chin right here from falling off the monkey bars when I was a little kid. Now, today, if that happened, the mother wants to sue the school because the child fell off the monkey bars. But the bottom line is we have perverted empathy, and we have stopped people from growing because we want to absorb their struggles. It's not a good thing. It's happening widespread today. It's not a good thing.
No, it's not. I noticed this difference in culture, also difference in background, maybe a difference in generation, whatever causes. Very early when I moved to the U.S., I remember in Santa Fe, New Mexico, maybe just 1 year after I had moved to the U.S. And I was in that gym, and there was that mother with her kid, and her kid was maybe 12 years old. So he was not a young kid. He's like a preteen. And I'm always happy to show what I do, and sometimes I just coach people. I just give them tips, or literally coach them just like that, like for free, just because I can see that they want it or that they could benefit, and I'm just there. And it's a passion to me. It's like it's what I do, and it's my duty somehow. And, anyways, so I teach that kid I show him some movements to do. And then there was a pull-up bar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, are you ready now to do that movement with a little of elevation? When I say a little of elevation, maybe that means that his feet would be 3 feet up the ground, up the floor. And I helped him grab the bar. And for 5 seconds, he was okay. And then all of a sudden, I can see his face completely change. And his amygdala's completely fired up. His face completely modified by fear. Mm-hmm. And I can see that he's literally on the verge of having a panic attack.
Was he looking at his mother at the time? Just curious.
I think his mother was in a corner.
Okay. Because maybe a lot of times children don't know to be afraid, and then they look up their parents and they go, oh my God, they're afraid for me. Something's going to happen to me. So I just was curious.
That's a very good point, Carl. But I don't remember him looking at anybody. Right. I remember him looking down and basically being afraid of the height.
Right.
So obviously there are progressions to this. And I immediately, reinsured him, picked him strongly to just say, hey, okay, you're okay, don't worry, and everything. But that was the end of it. That was the end because the kid was emotionally upset. The mother was a little emotionally upset, even though she didn't tell me anything. But I was baffled. I was baffled by the lack of mental fortitude. 12 years old to me should be already an advanced age in terms of physical capability. You should already be so strong and capable at 12 years old. If you look at my kids, what they can do, the kind of risk they take, and when people look at them, they're like, some of them literally come up to us and be like, you letting your children do this, and it's so dangerous, and this and that. I'm like, could you please just mind your own business? Because you have no idea what parenting is. You have no idea what my children are capable of. So just mind your own business. Thank you very much. Right. I don't mean to be rude. But it's just that people have no clue whatsoever. And often, by the way, it's people who don't even have children themselves. Sometimes I'm asking them, do you have children? No? Okay, then just mind your own business. Again, but a lot of people also are just they're very impressed, and they just say the way your children move is just unbelievable for their
Right.
age. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't teach my kids how to move. I give them a permission to move. And also
Right.
they've seen me and my wife, the way we move. So they understand that the way we move is normal. It's not only normal, it's desirable. It's what they should do. Everything is about mimicry. We learn so much as human beings through mimicry. So the question is, as parents, what is the example that you provide to your children? When I was 5, I remember hanging myself from my bedroom window. There was a rail, a metal rail. It was on the second, how do you say, like
Sorry?
not the floor level. It was
Second floor.
second floor. I always get confused still after over a decade spent in the US. So second floor. I would step over and hang from there. The body literally in the void, so only relying on my grip strength, but also relying on my mental composure. And without knowing, let's say intellectually, without being able to explain why I was doing that, the drive I remember is that I wanted to know what I was made of, and I wanted to know if I was capable to stay cool or not in a situation like that. And tracking back, but then the future of that, so we're talking about me being 20 years old, I remember doing exactly the same at the very top of a construction crane. Exactly the same, just climbing the crane, going all the way to the top, and then hanging like this. And there was a rugby player, rugby team playing, and one of them noticed me because I stayed there hanging just as long as I could, basically. And then one of them noticed me, and before you knew it, the whole team, the whole game stopped, and everybody was just looking up and looking at me, wondering what I was doing. Some people would think, well, this is risking your life. Or this was never to me a daredevil thing to do. It was feeling fully alive. It was about feeling capable. And you feel more alive when you feel capable. You feel more self-confidence when you can do things like this. Some people would think that's completely useless. Actually, they have no idea what uselessness is and usefulness is. Everything has to do with your mind. Everything has to do with your psyche. Everything has to do with your spirit. That's what life is about. So I'm not telling people how to live, but don't tell me how to live. I know how to make myself strong, healthy, and happy and free. It's been my lifestyle, it's been my quest, and that's something today that I share. I'm not telling people to go hang at a height. I'm not telling people to go and take risks. I've personally done that a lot, jumping into crazy waters, things like that, just because I knew that I was capable of doing it, and it would make me feel alive. Because in today's world, there's no more challenges like this unless if you sign up to be like in a military or something, and then you're gonna face danger. You're gonna face a real threat of real lethal threats on the battlefield, or you're a firefighter. You're gonna face real world threats. You could get badly injured. You can even get killed for the sake of saving other people's lives. How noble it is. How noble it is that. But my point is, unless you have professions like this, as a civilian, you'll never be exposed unless some bad things happen.
Right.
But you won't be exposed to anything that is dangerous. So you don't know danger. You don't know fear.
And
in that year. And you're always going to be stressed out, but based on what? What are you stressed out about?
Experiencing danger is a critical component of our physiology. In fact, I had a guy whose book changed, was one of the things that changed my life, was a book called Of Doves, Diplomats, and Diabetes, a Darwinian look at health today. And it was, the book was written by, I'm going to forget his name now, but anyway. But in the book, he shows how when you take risk, your body does different things with the food you eat after you experience risk. And this is part of the evolutionary gift that we got. The brain actually suppresses hunger until it gets to the point where the hunger shuts down peptides made in the brain that suppress the fear of risk. And when the fear of risk decreases and the hunger increases, we would go out of the cave and look for food. And when you eat food without that precursor process in the brain, the body is more likely to turn it into fat. But when you eat food, when that precursor has been satisfied, the body is more likely to turn it into muscle. And the reason is because it's trying to increase the potential for you to do the job next time. It's super compensating. It is
fascinating. It is fascinating. It's this. We're predators, all right, and we're predators, and we survive because we acquire energy by ingesting the body of other living creatures, and that's it. So, and then what you describe is that transition between the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. Most of the time, we want to be in this parasympathetic nervous system where we can rest, digest, heal, recover, and enjoy, to be relaxed. All is good. Now, you got to get to work. You got to go get your food. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be risky. It's going to be potentially tough. At least the way we used to procure food. Today, you just click, order a pizza online. It's going to get delivered to your door. Somebody knocks at the door, and you keep going online, keep doing your work on a computer while you eat your pizza. There's no danger to that. There's no effort to that. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system is going to trigger adrenaline, norepinephrine, all of those things, fight, flight, sometimes freeze. But basically, the nervous system will trigger a hormonal response. It's all biochemistry. It's all neurobiology. It's there. It's always been there. That's why, for instance, as much as hunting with a rifle is a great way to healthily, naturally procure food, I've done it. But when you trigger the rifle, you kill an animal at a distance. You don't have to go after it with a knife or a weapon. You don't have to actually reach to the animal. So you can be a hunter and not be especially healthy. You can just be in your hide, sit, drink stupid sodas. Sorry to say that. Don't be judgmental, but if you drink that crap, it just goes against your health. If you eat industrial food, it goes against your health. My point is, you can be unhealthy and yet you can kill those beautiful wild animals. This is not a lecture. It's great I support hunting. My point is, are you fit to do that? Do you need to be fit to do that? Do you need to really put an effort to do that? No. Maybe you've hiked in the cold 4 miles. That's okay. That's not especially an accomplishment, honestly. It shouldn't be seen as it. You know why I like to spearfish? Because when you spearfish, you can only spearfish if you're actually fit. Means you need to be able to hold your breath to begin with. You need to be able to swim. You need to be able to relax in the water. You need to really put an effort in going to go hit your fish. We're a spirit gun. So that's why I like to spearfish.
Yeah, my son spearfishes. He lives in San Diego, and he is always spearfishing. He loves it. We have to take a break. Hold on to that. We have to take a break. Before we take a break, I just want to. Mark DeCorso said that he's frustrated because he feels like his son has learned all his bad habits. Well, they learn the good habits too. You just haven't seen them yet. So if you feel like your son is learning all your bad habits, that's okay. He will learn from all of your habits, and he will also learn from your good habits. So don't be frustrated by that. We're going to be right back with more. Stay tuned. Healthier and happier. If you don't sweat profusely on a regular basis, you won't feel as good as you could. Studies have shown the power of infrared sauna. Infrared penetrates 1 to 2 inches into the body. It helps those with back pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, depression, and anxiety. Patients get relief from infrared sauna. The Good Health Sauna has been shown to be an exercise mimetic, conveying many of the same benefits as cardio. There are a lot of reasons people buy a Good Health Sauna, but the bottom line is you will be a much happier, healthier person by using the Good Health Sauna every day. You'll crave it, you'll love it, and it will be the best purchase you have ever made. Good Health Saunas provide commercial-grade saunas for in-home and commercial use, backed by the best lifetime warranty in the industry. Unmatched customer service and the best financing makes owning one easy and will fit any budget. Go to goodhealthsauna.com/superhumanradio to learn more and save 25% off.
When craving a snack, reach for Select Savory Snack Sugar-Free Biltong, the healthy alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. They use a fattier cut of beef, making it more tender and flavorful. For mealtime, choose from their 63 seasonings, which are sugar and additive free. From chipotle rub to savory pumpkin spice, you'll find an option to suit your palate. Go to shrnetwork.biz/SSS today. Use code SHR15 to save 15% on any meat snack or seasoning. Savor the flavor today.
Whether your goal is to build muscle or burn fat, you'll find everything you need at Redcon One. Need help getting a good night's sleep? Try Fade Out, or the most popular pre-workout supplement on the market today, Total War. Sign up for their new Transformation Challenge and win $10,000, or shop for apparel that people at the gym will know that you are serious about your training. Need a testosterone booster that works? Check out Boomstick. Whatever you need, you'll find the best quality supplements on the market at Redcon One. Go to redcon1.com. That's REDCON, the number 1.com, or go to superhumanradio.net and click the Redcon One banner ad today. Getting a massage post-workout is a proven strategy to facilitate better recovery. Getting to massage therapists can be difficult and expensive, especially in these times. The solution is the Meteor, a heated massage ball from Milestorm. Reduce pain and soreness and expedite recovery with the Meteor's research-backed vibration settings and therapeutic heat. It's convenient for travel and works on any body part. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Meteor and use code SHR15 for 15% off and free shipping if you buy 2 or more. Start recovering better today.
Proper hydration can lead to improved endurance, performance, and recovery. When we sweat, we lose valuable electrolytes that must be replaced. That's why Element created a zero-sugar, science-backed ratio of electrolytes that you can add to your water. It comes in 3 flavors. Sample them all risk-free with the Element Variety Pack. Carl's favorite is raspberry. Free shipping on all U.S. orders. Go to shrnetwork.biz/LMNT and get yours today.
TaylorMade Health is focused on making sure you're able to perform and look your best. They are a leader in game-changing supplements and cosmetic products. Whether you want to increase strength, expedite recovery, facilitate soft tissue repair, or reduce deep wrinkles, TaylorMade Health has you covered. TaylorMade Health is also the home to Dr. Seed's products such as BPC, BPC Plus, and the Chill Pill. All of my listeners can now get 20% off their first order with code TRY20. That's TRY20. This code can even be used on subscription orders. Visit shrnetwork.biz/try20 today and use code TRY20 for 20% off your first order.
Move over, superheroes. This is the Superhuman Channel.
Welcome back. We're talking with Erwan Le Corre. This is an episode of Fathers and Sons. We're going to get more into the discussion right now. So, Erwan, what is your son? You have one son, correct?
2.
Okay. So what are your boys named? What are their names?
Eagle and Sky. My wife is she's actually a native Cherokee, and so our children are Feather, Eagle, and Sky.
Okay. Do you think
So-
discipline? Do you think discipline is different for boys versus girls?
No, I don't think so. I treat them exactly the same. I do not believe in this kind of difference because, and the reason is, it's not about gender, it's about principles. Principles are inherently
Genderless.
genderless, universal. So, what I exemplify and why I believe is my role as a man to convey, to show, to teach to my children applies to all three of them. And my wife is the most gorgeous, smart, wise, funny, healthy woman you'll ever meet. Her energy is so radiant that everybody's literally always come up to her, be like, "Why are you so special? There's something so special about you." So I'm very, very blessed to be happily married to such a woman. But my point was, she also, as a woman, exemplifies qualities and principles that are equally universal. Now, because strength or compassion are equally important.
Right.
Resiliency or nurturing, I'm not even talking about the opposites right there. I'm just talking about what we culturally, typically, but even in pretty much every culture, we see as qualities that are more masculine, and others that are more feminine. I believe all these qualities are universal. It means that every human being, regardless of their gender, should acquire and display those qualities. The difference is in the degree. The difference is in the degree. So, my girl, she's 11 years old.
What's her name?
Feather.
Okay.
So we live in, at this point, we mostly live in that little village in Mexico by the ocean. You've seen a glimpse of it.
Mhm.
There are so many reasons for why we live here, but one of them being day-to-day complete exposure to nature. They go and play upriver, jump from rock to rock, go in the currents, climb coconut trees on the beach, go swim underwater, go in the jungle, wherever. They go barefoot. There's no car here. We don't have cars. Access only by boat, even though it's not an island, but it's just the topography is just too challenging for cars to come here.
Right.
And so back to my girl. Those kids recently would come up to me and be like, "Oh, so you're a pluma." That's, pluma, I mean feather in Spanish. You're a pluma's feather, huh? And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" Like, "Well, she knows how to fight."
Huh.
They were impressed because she is just so fierce. And she's the most feminine girl.
Right.
She's a girl. She displays every beautiful qualities of a girl, but she can't stand her ground. And if you want to fight with her, she will fight. But she doesn't need to fight in a way that's mean. But she can't fight. She loves to fight. Fight is natural to her, right? So she's equally empowered in her physicality as of being able not only to defend herself but also to enjoy a friendly fight, like the way kids can fight, they
Rough housing. Yeah.
will punch each other but not in the face.
Yeah.
They will push themselves real hard but they don't intend to. Sometimes they do intend to hurt but not in a mean way, not to the point of causing
Bodily harm.
actual, physical harm. That's the way but it can be really strong. All right,
But we see this in the animal kingdom, right? You see the baby tigers fighting with each other, the baby bears fighting with each other. It's all experimental. It's learning
exactly
how to do this,
Exactly where you are. It's an excellent point you're making, Carl. When you are looking at young animals, most young animals fight, love to play fighting to in some way. You look at cats, you look at dogs, like obviously pets are going to be a very frequent examples that we can observe, and you're never thinking to yourself, oh, that must be males because they're the ones fighting. No, it has nothing to do with that. It's
Right.
because fighting is a universal ability. Defending oneself is a universal ability. It's not only trainable, it's something that all kids train naturally, if rough housing and things like that. It's normal, it's necessary, it's healthy. It's not just a physical thing, it has to do with psychology. It's about making your psyche stronger. My girl does that. I would never tell her, oh, you're a girl, you should not be fighting. Or, hey guys, hey boys, this is my girl. You cannot try to have a fight with her because it's not fair. She's a girl. This kind of complete bullshit. No, she's a girl. She can fight just like her mom. Don't start a fight with her mom because she will take you down. You have no idea. So, look, today's values are just completely upside down.
Right.
Whatever the reason is for that, it's absurd. Because you're not going to change timelessness. So again, back to that idea of universal principles. There are differences in gender, or there are differences in psychology or in relation to gender, but those differences are not necessarily a partition between, okay, those are feminine, exclusive monopoly.
Right.
Those are exclusively masculine traits, and those are exclusively feminine traits. No. All the traits that are found in predominantly, or let's say more in women or in men, are universally human traits, human qualities. Those are timeless principles. Now, if you are a man, you tend to develop, let's say, more of an ability to endure, to be tough, to want to fight, to have aggressiveness that needs to be harnessed and controlled to serve the purpose of goodness, obviously, because that's what healthy is, mental, spiritual health is about. But now think of it this way. Okay, my wife gave birth 3 times. 3 times naturally means in the water birth. No painkillers. Try to have the head of a baby go through
the vaginal canal. I know. It's
exactly.
In fact, from an evolutionary perspective,
try to give birth naturally without painkillers. And now, as a man, think of how tough you are. You have no idea that women can actually handle pain much more than any man.
Mm-hmm.
So what is toughness to you now? Why do you think you're so tough? Okay, right. You have more muscular strength.
Strength, right.
That's it. Strength. That's all right. Then, okay, there's no need to brag about it. There's no need to make a whole fuss about it. First off, keep developing it, maintain it, recover it if you've lost it, build it if you've never ever build yourself physically, because today so many grown-up men are not physically built. So there's one way to be a grown-up is just biologically, chronologically, just wait that you're 21 now. Okay, you're grown up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Now build your body, build your mind, and now be a real grown up. Okay. So, but once you've done that, it's not about posing on Instagram to show your muscles and your abs and your stuff. I can show my 6-pack abs right now if I wanted to. It. Who cares? Who cares? It's the surface. What are you using that strength for? Number one, you can show off with muscles, but are you physically capable in a way that actually fits the real world? Can you jump an obstacle? Can you climb over an obstacle? Could you sprint? Could you run for 10 miles right now if you had to, without complaining, without stopping, just because you know how to do that? You've trained to do these things. You are ready. You are really capable. You have real preparedness. So I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your muscles look like. I don't care that you want to show off your muscles. I want to see what you could do with those muscles. And I want to know that they would be used for the purpose of goodness, not for just your freaking ego. And that is me lecturing you right now. And at the same time, not even telling you what you should do, because it's your life. It's your life.
Right.
You do whatever you want.
Do you ever
much bigger than the whole picture of life is so much bigger and so beautiful and so deep.
Do you ever have to talk to the boys about appropriateness of using aggression, like when it's appropriate, when it's not, or because of the environment that your children have been raised in, you don't even have to have that discussion?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, because they fight. Sometimes they fight. And so sometimes they hit themselves, they hit each other.
Right.
Sometimes they cry. Sometimes they want to be mean. So whenever I am a witness, because I'm not always around to see it, but when I am around, and if I don't know what happened, I will question them. Okay, so what happened? Why did you do that? I don't necessarily blame them for using physical retaliation. I inquire as of why, the reasons why, and what extent, in what way was their physical strength or aggression was used. So I may tell them, look, ego, I understand why at this point you felt like hitting your brother. However, you went way too hard in relation to what your little brother did to you. Number one, is your little brother is not as strong as you. Number two, he really annoyed you. You warned him. That was the right thing to do. You warned him 3 times. He didn't want to. But then you got emotional, and then you did not control. You could have used your strength differently. You didn't have to hurt him that way. So now you go apologize to him for hurting him too much. And then I have his little brother. Okay, now you apologize for bothering your brother, even though he quietly asked you to just not stop bothering him. That's just one example, all right? It could be the other way around. It could, and by the way, sometimes the same goes with a sister, right? So it's just always reminders. Okay, you can hit. Don't hit the face. Don't hit the face. Okay, but now you can hit. Don't hit to actually hurt too much. But if you don't hurt a bit, you won't have fun. So I want you guys to keep fighting too, because it can be fun to fight. It's just reminding them, okay, what is proper? What is right? What is not right? What is the right level? What is too much? Things like that.
I want to take a quick commercial break.
Yeah.
I want to take a quick commercial break because I've got 3 more questions I want to ask you that are very, very critical to the discussion. So let's do this. Let's take one quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Superhuman Radio. Stay tuned.
Hey, Carl, I'll get to the bathroom real quick, okay?
Getting a massage post-workout is a proven strategy to facilitate better recovery. Getting to massage therapists can be difficult and expensive, especially in these times. The solution is the Meteor, a heated massage ball from Milestorm. Reduce pain and soreness and expedite recovery with the Meteor's research-backed vibration settings and therapeutic heat. It's convenient for travel and works on any body part. Go to shrnetwork.biz/Meteor and use code SHR15 for 15% off and free shipping if you buy 2 or more. Start recovering better today.
New Mass Pro Synthogen X2 just upped its own legendary game. To distance itself even further from the rest of the pack, Synthogen X2 now has double the key active ingredients. If you've ever wondered what steroid-like recovery feels like, Synthogen X2 delivers. See why others compare it favorably to powerful bodybuilding drugs at synthogen.com. Mass Pro Synthogen. When you train with it, you'll gain with it.
Quest Nutrition makes bars, cookies, chips, and pizzas out of complete dairy-based proteins. Our products minimize net carbs and sugar without sacrificing taste. Each delicious chocolate-flavored chip, cookie chunk, and crunchy crumble is custom made to maintain Quest macros. It's time to enjoy foods that work for you, not against you. It's time to enjoy your Quest.
When craving a snack, reach for Select Savory Snack Sugar-Free Biltong, the healthy alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. They use a fattier cut of beef, making it more tender and flavorful. For mealtime, choose from their 63 seasonings, which are sugar and additive-free. From chipotle rub to savory pumpkin spice, you'll find an option to suit your palate. Go to shrnetwork.biz/SSS today. Use code SHR15 to save 15% on any meat snack or seasoning. Savor the flavor today. Proper hydration can lead to improved endurance, performance, and recovery. When we sweat, we lose valuable electrolytes that must be replaced. That's why Element created a zero-sugar, science-backed ratio of electrolytes that you can add to your water. It comes in 3 flavors. Sample them all risk-free with the Element Variety Pack. Carl's favorite is raspberry. Free shipping on all U.S. orders. Go to shrnetwork.biz/LMNT and get yours today.
Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor, strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon.
This is the Superhuman Channel. Evolution just got kicked up a notch.
Just want to remind everybody that December 18th is the anniversary show this Friday. And you could do one or two things if you want to be immortalized in the anniversary show. You can send an email to onair@superhumanradio.net. And all you got to do is put in there your full name and the year you first started listening to Superhuman Radio. I can't believe how many people started listening back in 2005, 2006. It's really astonishing. So many people who started listening when I was on AM radio. Also, if you want to be a little more verbose than that, you can point your phone at your face and do a short 15-second, 20-second congratulations type video where you are wishing us a happy anniversary, and then upload it to shrnetwork.biz/your-story, and you will be immortalized in the anniversary show, 15 years and running. We're talking today with Erwan Le Corre. We're talking about being a father in today's environment. And, you know, I love all the people that I've had on the show so far have had very unique skills that led them to a very unique place in life. And everybody has very definite opinions about raising children. No one I've interviewed so far is, well, you know, I just stay out of their way and let them be kids. And everybody has very, very definite opinions on how to raise, especially boys, because we're talking about boys because it's tough today. You know, when I was a young boy, I never had to worry about being accused of rape when I didn't rape a girl, but she just decided she felt bad the next morning about what she did the night before. You know, today it's a very, very difficult terrain for boys to navigate. If you hurt somebody in self-defense, you could go to jail anyway. You know, we have these terms, toxic masculinity. There's nothing toxic and there's nothing innately bad about being a man. But today, there's a lot of people out there who want us to believe that. And so that's why I think raising boys is a big deal. One thing that happens to all boys when they go through puberty, part of becoming autonomous is a lot of times they rebel against the father because he's the alpha male figure, and they need to become their own alpha male. So how should fathers handle this when their child becomes rebellious? Usually it's 15, 16, 17 years old. Now all of a sudden you feel like they're doing everything that you don't want them to do. And really this is part of their searching for their own autonomy. What do you think about that?
So I'm obviously not at this stage with my own children, my own boys, since they are 6 and 7. I hope and I believe that I will not have to deal much with that, because I already support who they are. When I say who they are, I mean what it is that they express already as individuals. So they have their own talents, they have their own callings already. We can see that. One loves to do kind of like martial arts. He's extraordinary. He just watches stuff and then replicates those kicks and those movements, and he's just so good at it. At the same time, he loves to draw. He's an amazing drawer, artist already, and he has an extraordinary interest and intuition about the natural world. He knows so much. So that's what Eagle is 7 years old. He knows so much about species and everything already. My point is, we homeschool them. We have private tutors here, but most importantly, they learn tons. This approach is called experiential knowledge, experiential education. They'll learn a lot just by playing outside, just by playing. You have to trust that as they play, as they grow healthy with exposure to sun, exposure to nature, healthy food, healthy environments and everything, their brain and their whole health, their neurobiology develops as it should. The nervous system develops as it should. Therefore, at some point, they'll be able to learn anything they want, any discipline they want, and have the wits, the stamina to pursue any kind of education they want and any lifestyle they want. So we're giving them basics there. We're giving them the foundation. Why would I, at some point, find myself trying to impose on them a certain model if, since they're little kids, they have already understood and benefited from the amazing amounts of benefits that they can already experience and that they have already acquired through their childhood, right? So
right.
Why would they start to fight against that? They're gonna say,
right,
hey Dad, I don't want to be an athlete. I don't want to train physically.
Okay.
Listen, boy, I never forced you to do anything, did I? No. You were all the time on the boat, on the beach, climbing trees, swimming on the water, running, jumping from rocks to rocks, and doing all these movements because it felt great to you, because you loved it. Why would they stop loving it?
No, I see. The reality is that your role as a father has not put you in direct oppositional path in the future as the disciplinarian and the alpha male. If anything, you are living your life. You're not living your life as a father. You're living your life as Erwan, and they're just coming along for the ride. If they decide they want to turn left where you don't want to turn left, and they're old enough and they're capable enough, you're going to let them do what they want to do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. For instance, we let them watch shows, but they cannot watch shows a whole day, and maybe we're going to watch shows sometimes for 2 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, you know what? They still have spent 14 hours being on their feet outside.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I've watched shows like those innocent shows, like no commercials, no scary stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So we prevent them from like toxic masculinity. What an absurd, what a complete bullshit term. I'm going to tell you what it is. They're only toxic behaviors. There are also toxic values, including believing in weakness. Now that's a toxic value. We prevent them from influences that we know are toxic. That includes, and some people are going to hate me for saying that, but that includes public schools.
Yeah.
Because of all the, and God knows they're beautiful people, beautiful teachers who are amazing, teachers who will be remembered forever by their students for being some of the most important role models they've ever had in their life. But nonetheless, as a whole, the culture in public school can be just completely not only disempowering, it can just be totally toxic. Television, news, mainstream news outlet, just so much bullshit from all of that. We don't let that get into our children's mind.
Right.
Don't let them be exposed to that, because, and when we say we, that's my wife and I, because we don't believe in it, and because we know that it's unhealthy. We know that it's a lot of make-believe. We just know it. Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. That's a no-brainer, needless to say. So are we. We expose our children to the beauty of nature, to the mysterious beauty of the world, the natural world, to a healthy community that knows what it is to smile, a real smile, a healthy smile from the heart. People who are here who are authentic, people who don't claim to value family values, actually exemplify them. Means that they see a kid crying, they always ask, hey, are you okay? Like, they give hugs to kids, they take care of them, they watch them, they feed them. They are really community based here. It's a beautiful thing. There's not one solution to living a healthy life. It's a whole ecosystem. It's a whole, you got to look at the whole picture. The big picture is the whole picture, is a complete picture. So I don't see why at any point in the future my boys would rebel against anything, especially would rebel against anything that they've been enjoying their whole childhood, that they've never been forced to agree on. They've been influenced to agree on. They've been reminded why it is important. Can my kids have a candy or like a dessert sometimes? Yes, they can. Can they have that every day or several times a day? Not at all.
Right.
Etc. So there are guidelines and there are rules.
Right.
But if at some point, for whatever reason, they would want to, try a direction, then they should.
Right.
It's like the Amish. When you're an Amish, at some point you're given the opportunity to be like, hey, you want to explore the world, go for it,
Right.
see how it works for you. And you know what happens is that most of the kids come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They come
but
back
they,
because they haven't found better. They haven't
they
found healthier.
right. They have to come back on their own terms as opposed to being forced to stay. And that's the big difference. So one of my big frustrations as a species, the humans, we have constructed things to help us, let's say, not fear. We humans, we want to know the answers. We want to know, what happens when we die. We want to know these kind of things because it makes us feel in more control of our environment. And one of my biggest frustrations is my own parents never talked to me about my own death. I literally visualize my death several times a week because I've learned, it's like there's only one thing that we're going to be guaranteed that happens to us. We never maybe get the job we want, the wife we want, the education we want, but we're all going to die. And it's the one thing humans don't talk about. And in fact, we're so afraid to talk about it that we've created religion to subvert our identification of why we fear this event so much. And it's like if you and I were traveling across country from New York going west, and every place we stop and you say to me, Carl, when will we be in California? I say, no, Erwan, don't mention California. I don't want to talk about California, even though inevitably we will end up in California someday. So we treat death this way. And so I'm a huge proponent of doing work in your brain about your own death, because when you accept your own mortality and when you visualize that date in the future, it actually helps you crystallize the things that are important to you so you don't waste a lot of time and end up at the end of life going, I wish I would have, I wish I would have, I wish I would have. And that's really the same. When I die, I want people to say, yeah, he was ready to die. That's the best way to go. I've done everything. I've seen everything. I'm not afraid to go. So at what point do you start to talk to your children, the feather as well, not just the boys, about their own mortality? Or have you done so already?
Yeah, already. Already, but not again. I don't have programmed topics that need to be addressed at a given moment. No, conversation naturally comes out. And usually children bring things on the table. They ask the questions. They ask, so you have a daddy too? You have a mommy? You have a mother and dad? Yeah. So, but where is your father? Well, he's dead already. He died. Oh, but why? Well, because he was old and unhealthy. Oh, I don't want to get old. Well, we all get old. You're going to get old too? I'm like, yeah, I'm getting old every day. So you're going to die too? Yes. Oh, no, I don't want you. No. It's very simple. It's very simple. You just have to make it simple, to make them understand already about the realities of life, including the fact that life is finite. Inherently, you will experience at some point the end of it. So out of that, those observations, you have plenty of beautiful insights that you can share. For instance, what is life? What it is to be alive? And what matters? What is life? You're having an experience. Okay, what is that experience? Well, what do you want that experience to be? Well, then you want to think of what you want to have. Having is having an experience. Okay, I own this, I possess this car is mine, this house is mine, this bank account is mine. Okay. Do you want to think of, or do you want to focus on what you want to do in life, what is going to be that experience of who you are, that experience in the here and now, through what you do. What do you want to do? Or you want to play? You want to discover new places? You want to share the moment with other people? You want to feel strong, which means that you have to do things that make you strong, which means that you have to be challenged. You want to be good, you want to feel good, you want to be happy. It means that you want to focus not only on the circumstances that make you happy and satisfied, but you want to also focus on the feeling that's within you. And so then you have the next level of experience, which is, who do you choose to be? What is the experience? Who do you choose to be? What is it to be? Is it to think? Are you defined by your thoughts? Are you defined by your name? Are you defined by your physical appearance, what you look like in the mirror? Are you defined by the money you have, the friends you have, the things you do, your job, the education you've had? Well, that's your identity. Your identity defines how you're perceived. But it does not define exactly what you experience inside. So what are your thoughts? And most importantly, what are your feelings? How do you feel inside? That's your experience. That's the most important experience of your whole life. It's how you feel inside. How you feel about who you are, who you were, who you are, who you become, but also not just feeling about something, but just feeling. What is the feeling that you want to experience most of the time? And can you experience that feeling regardless of external circumstances? When, Carl, you mentioned that you think about death.
On purpose, I do it as an exercise.
Yeah, no, it's a very valuable exercise. You are considering the end of your experience. What is supposed to be the end of the experience? We don't know. Nobody knows. So death is supposed to be the end of the experience. Done. Lights off. As you think about that, your considerations are considerations that you experience. You may mentally think about it. It means you have conceptual representation of what death is, how it feels like, what it entails, what it implies, what it's going to be like, what's after, even though you won't be there, how you should think about it now, and actually how you should feel about it now. So you basically, what you're talking about, what you're thinking about is what your experience should be in the moment about something that's in the future.
Right.
You think
and what I want to do, what I want to do
now, Carl. It's happening now. Now, how you feel, you have the power to decide how you feel about it. And how do you feel about it? Okay, feelings can't be neutral. They're either positive or they're negative. If they're going to be negative, they're going to be, we're talking about death, something important, an important perspective that it's ineluctable. Nobody can avoid it. Negative thoughts about it, negative feelings, sad, afraid, disappointed, agitated, all kind of negative feelings. None of those feelings will impact the outcome.
Right.
You can gesticulate about it. That's it. At some point, it can be for all of us. Tonight, it can be tomorrow. It could be in 20 years. It could be in 40 years. Who knows? It will happen. What matters is how you feel about it. So what you're doing is you're bringing it's in your subconscious that may create some anxiety. You're bringing it to your conscious mind to manipulate your perception of it, both mentally in your mind, but in your heart, the feeling about it. And if you understand that, and I'm talking about everyone and me included, then you understand, you remember the power you have to alter not only your mind and your thought about a certain subject as important as death, because it reflects back on the importance of life. And therefore, more importantly, even than thoughts, it's how you feel about it. Because you can delude yourself in saying, nah, I'm not afraid of it. I don't care. That's a mental thing. If you delve deep into your feeling, you will know exactly where you're at in your feeling about the subject and how you truly feel about it. So focus on that feeling without too many words, just to really imagine that it's happening now. You're dying now. Okay, you're dying now. Feel what's happening. And if you don't like the experience, because again, the experience will not modify the outcome, it will only modify the quality of your experience right now, then what you do is that you believe in your power to alter that experience, to alter that feeling into something positive, which is acceptance, trust, and gratitude, and love, and gratitude for the fact that you are alive right now. It's not done. To the last breath, to the last heartbeat, you're alive. You can enjoy that moment fully. And that's the feeling. Trust, love, gratitude. Those are the feelings that you want to have now, no matter what, because all the rest will only diminish the quality, the pleasantness, and the reward of your experience in the now. It will have nothing to do with your death. None, zero.
Well, the only way that it can have something to do with your death is through an extrinsic effect. So when I first started doing this death work, I call it, it was because after I watched my father die, it became very, very obvious to me that, oh my God, I looked at him in that bed and he looked like me. And I thought that's going to be me someday. And I became very depressed for about a year. Couldn't sleep well. And then I started to ask myself, why? What am I so afraid of? What is this thing that I'm so afraid of? And I started to imagine, I would be laying in bed in the morning, getting ready for the day. And I'd say, okay, let me imagine I'm dying. I can't get out of bed. Someone's going to find me here dead. I'm not going to feel anything because I'm just going to stop breathing or my heart's going to stop. So what is it that I'm really afraid of? Well, I started to identify that I felt like I had unfinished work to do, before I leave the planet. There are things that I still wanted to do. And I focused on those things over the past few years, and I've gotten them all in place now. So now I don't have the anxiety of, I should have done this, and that. Now I'm dying. It's too late. So now when I do my death work, it's very calm. It's very peaceful. The things that used to scare me don't, because I've addressed them and I've put them in their proper perspective. And now I don't believe in a hereafter. I don't. I just don't. I feel like this is the life. Get it right. Do the best you can now. But I don't feel now when I do death work, it's like sometimes I'll be in the car and I'll be driving and I'll think, okay, what if I had a heart attack right now? Well, the first consideration is I want to pull the car over. I don't want to kill anybody as I'm dying. So I would go over there in that grass, I would think, and then I would just stay there and I would die and I would remember all the love in my life. And I would go peacefully. That's it. Because I got everything else done. I don't have anything that, oh no, wait, I can't die yet. I have to finish that first, So that's what it did for me. Everybody's experience is different with this, but I want more people to do death work. I want more people to think about their death now, because I don't believe you can fully live this life until you have made peace with your death. I really do.
Yeah, it is Carlos Castaneda who said that, or it was the shaman he was working with who was teaching him to live with death constantly on your shoulder. Well, that may sound like a gloomy thing, like, oh wow, why would you want to do that? This is a horrible perspective. It's actually extremely wise. It's a timeless teaching, and the reason is nobody knows when the time of, again, the termination of their experience will come. Every day you have people, and some of them are young, who learn that they have a terrible illness that will, again, terminate their life, and therefore terminate the experience which they call life, and which they call myself. And it takes them by surprise, and it's obviously very sad when it's sometimes they're even children. Also, people who just die in accidents. I had a brother who died in a car crash. Nobody knew it would happen. He didn't know it would happen. So the perspective, to remind yourself frequently of the perspective, is not about fearing. It's not about killing your joy of being alive. It's about a reassessment of how you live, and how you live your life, which is how you experience your life right now, and not just because, again, of external circumstances such as the job you work and the people you know and the affairs of the world and all of that, but because of how you operate your mind and heart. Because who doesn't want to be a soul? I'm a soul. You're a soul. Everybody's a soul.
Right.
What does that mean? That means that this whole reality is a spiritual experience. No less.
Right.
No less. And what is going to magnify life and the beauty and the essential value of this spiritual experience, but the perspective that it ends at some point? Nothing. So you're left with the moment. The
Right.
idea that the future is limited, your future, our future, a person's future is limited, magnifies the now, magnifies what it is that we're experiencing now. Like, and if you don't want to be fascinated, if you don't want to feel alive at that moment, if you don't want to wake up to the idea that you're breathing, that you have eyes to see, that you can look around and look at the beauty of the world, of the sky and the stars in the sky, and the wind, and the earth, and the animals, and the whole community that's around you, that makes you breathe, that makes you eat, that makes you have a heartbeat, that makes you stay alive, that makes you have this experience, because it's a whole fantastic, glorious energy transfer party out there. And it's magnificent, and it's mysterious, and it's glorious, and it's all spiritual, and you're part of it. What are you afraid of? What do you put your mind in? What are your concerns?
Yeah. I want to take our last, this is our last commercial break. And I have one last question for you when we come back. And this question completes the circle. Like the first question I asked you, this is going to complete the circle. So stay tuned. We're right back with more fun. Of the cognitive benefits of nootropics. My friends over at Pure Nootropics are giving my listeners 10 to 30% off their already great prices on over 70 high-quality nootropics. Stock up on DHM so you can feel good after your holiday celebration, or try the Superhuman Stack to boost your brain and energize your day. Go to shrnetwork.biz/pure, that's PURE, and start saving today. Do you remember those delicious toaster pastries you had when you were a kid? You know, the rectangular sugar-filled snacks? Well, guess what? Legendary Foods has just made low-carb toaster pastry. This is the first of its kind, and honestly, these things are amazing. They have 3 to 4 net carb, less than 1 gram of sugar, and 9 grams of protein. You can eat them right out of the wrapper or lightly toast them. The only question is, which flavor, strawberry or brown sugar cinnamon? They're available at eatlegendary.com and Amazon.
Mind Bullet is a kratom product derived from the coffee family to boost energy and creative juices. Mind Bullet comes in both pill and liquid form for the ultimate pre-workout supplement. When needing a little pick-me-up or to get through the morning fog, Mind Bullet will set your productive course fast. Go to shrnetwork.biz/mindbullet, all one word, today, and save 20%. No subscription required. That's shrnetwork.biz/mindbullet. Get yours today.
Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, said that all disease begins in your gut. That's why it's so important to protect yourself with boosted immune system. If you drink coffee, tea, smoothies, or really any beverage in the morning, and you're looking for a tasty way to start your day and defend yourself against harmful bacteria, then I have just the thing for you to try. It's called the Ultimate Immunity Protection Stack, and it was put together by my friends over at Bioptimizers. Their immunity stack has 3 products which contain over 18 natural herbs and probiotic blends formulated to fight and eliminate bad bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, and repair compromised gut lining. It also includes psychobiotics, which help increase serotonin and happy chemicals to naturally elevate your mood, performance, and cognitive function with no side effects or dependencies. It's a great addition to your morning routine, and it tastes amazing. Just stir it into any beverage, sip, and enjoy. It's the ultimate way to boost your immune system right before the holiday season. Go to shrnetwork.biz/protect and use code SHR10 and save an extra 10% off on the. You won't find this deal or stack anywhere else. For fast shipping and the best deal, go to shrnetwork.biz/protect today.
Quest Nutrition makes bars, cookies, chips, and pizzas out of complete dairy-based proteins. Our products minimize net carbs and sugar without sacrificing taste. Each delicious chocolate-flavored chip, cookie chunk, and crunchy crumble is custom made to maintain Quest macros. It's time to enjoy foods that work for you, not against you. It's time to enjoy your Quest.
When craving a snack, reach for Select Savory Snack Sugar-Free Biltong, the healthy alternative to sugar-laden beef jerky. They use a fattier cut of beef, making it more tender and flavorful. For mealtime, choose from their 63 seasonings, which are sugar and additive-free. From chipotle rub to savory pumpkin spice, you'll find an option to suit your palate. Go to shrnetwork.biz/SSS today. Use code SHR15 to save 15% on any meat snack or seasoning. Savor the flavor today.
You're listening to the Superhuman Channel. We're ripped and we're ready.
Welcome back.
We're ripped and we're ready.
Yeah, I know, right? That's old. That's actually 15 years old. This is a very, very good friend of mine from when I was a young little boy, Luciana. She says she loves this conversation. Thank you so much for being here today, by the way. So, excuse me. My final question, which kind of creates closure for us, because I asked you early on about who influenced you and your own dad. And you had nice, wonderful things to say about him as an example for your life. So when you're gone, how do you want, it says your boys, but your children, let's include Feather. How do you want them to finish this sentence? My dad was.
My dad was a great man. And here's why. They will know, to them, the meaning of great man. Only they will know what they mean when they say great man. My dad was a great father. We have a local friend here. She's an amazing woman. Her name is Brisa. She doesn't need to wait for her dad, who's old now, to die to already say that my dad is a great man. He's a great father. Is he known beyond this village? No. Has he accomplished things that we normally would say, well, that makes you a great man? No. But she knows why she's a great man.
Mm-hmm.
Her family knows why he's a great man, because he's a great father, because he has wisdom, he has love, he's a great grandfather, he's highly respected by everybody in the village. Why? Why would people respect you? Because you've had a consistent behavior, consistent expression of values and virtues and behaviors that gain respect from people. So I am doing my best to be the best person I can, to have the best experience I may experience, to address my personal shortcomings, because nobody's perfect, to be better always, to work on bettering myself, whatever you call that, self-actualization.
Mm-hmm.
So doing my best to be a good man, a helpful man, a reliable man, a wise man as much as I can be, healthy man. And for whatever qualities that I aspire to, that I hope I have at least to some extent acquired, to translate to me also, as to translate to my fatherhood, to the fact that I'm a father, so that my children will say my dad was a great man or a great father. It means the same to me, because if they were to say he was a great man, he was not such a great father, then okay, you're not a great man.
Right.
You're not a great man. I'm sorry. You had children, number one priority. So you may have, if you've neglected your children so that you could achieve wealth, success, God, the wealth and the success of a man who is a father is to have an amazing relationship with their children, their boys or girls, consistently, because you brought them to the world, and it is your responsibility to do everything you can, not just to do an okay job, but to do the best job. And I know it can be challenging. I know there's always a balance to be met between having to work, responsibilities, what you want to do for yourself as a person. Doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice absolutely everything to just always being there for your kids. But you have to be there, you have to be present, you have to show a healthy example. Again, children learn so much, not through what you say, but through what you show. Be that example. Whatever you want them to be, you've got to show that example. But also, what you want them to be may not be exactly what they will be. And you have to also accept that. In any case, work on yourself. If you work on yourself, you improve yourself. Practice your understanding. Practice your behaviors. Self-examine and reassess and readjust and improve at every level you possibly can. So that means that you can't be lazy. You can't be neglectful. You have to be on it. you brought those young lives, those new lives and young spirits to this world. You have to support that. You have to celebrate it. You have to magnify it. You have to be there. You have to be on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good. Very good.
I hope that my children will recognize one day that despite the mistake that we all bound to, no matter how great of a father you are, you will make mistakes. But that despite those, you did your best to be the best father you could possibly can.
I hope they find this interview. Really. I hope someday where you and I are both gone, this interview will still be on the internet and they'll find it and they'll be able to watch you say those words. That's what I hope.
Well, if they do, feather eagle in the sky, I love you more than words can say. You're in my heart. You're my everything. And I hope and believe that right now, after I'm gone, you're having the most fantastic life that a human being, that a soul could ever expect to have. The most beautiful, healthy, and meaningful experience a human being and a human can have. We call the world, and that we call life.
That's beautiful.
Amen.
I hope they find it. Erwan, thank you for being here. We have to not wait 5
Thanks,
years
Barry.
next time. Good
Next
seeing
time
you.
we'll have to meet
Take
in
care.
person. It's always the
Yes.
best.
Yeah, I would love to come down there.
Thanks
It was
everybody for
beautiful.
listening. I appreciate.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to call this the end of the show. Tomorrow is Tuesday. We have the Blueprint Power Hour. We have a show every day this week. Don't forget, on Friday is the anniversary show. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, come be part of it live. And we will see everybody with the more Superhuman Radio tomorrow. Stay